Feels good to be here. Feels good to be in a new space. What's up, guys? You missed us? Yeah? We missed you too. Okay, a little bit. Especially Josh. But it's good to be here. It's good to be on another episode of Conversations with Dan and Josh.
Yeah.
We're in a new place, new feeling, fresh air. Man, there's a lot happening right now.
So much to learn.
So much to learn, so much to talk about, so much happiness. We also have guests, guys.
Yeah.
We also have guests.
Guests.
It's always beautiful when we have guests on the show.
Double portion of wisdom.
And these are not ordinary guests, by the way. These are not ordinary guests.
Dangerous. Leave the matters of the generous to the generous.
Those ones. We have the amazing team from ATC. If you do not know what that is, where have you been? What shoebox do you live in? But we'll explain.
Come
ATC
out of the
is
rock.
Africa Tweet Chat. So this is a team that has moved digital marketing across the
Uganda,
continent.
Kenya,
Different
Tanzania,
countries, different
South
time
Africa,
zones,
Nigeria,
different languages.
Zimbabwe.
There's a lot.
They are globe.
They're global. And we're blessed to be in their presence. Yeah, we're blessed to be in their presence.
Yeah.
In the studio, by the way. When things look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you know why. So we're happy to have the team from ATC. In one corner, we'll start ladies first.
Yes.
Like the gentlemen we are.
Okay. But I think in the kind of world we are, anyone can start. You never know.
No, we insist. We insist.
You never know. Okay. Janet Machuka, the co-founder of Africa T-shirts. I was the mother and the idea.
The brain.
And the brain and everything about digital marketing in Africa and connecting the right people. And actually, that's how we came up to meet.
Yes.
And I think I was the first. I met you before you met me. Online.
Yes. And let me tell you. This is in the book of Joshua. The first verified account to follow.
To follow you.
Yo, I was like, I've arrived.
You had arrived.
It's okay.
That's all right.
And what about nowadays?
It's okay, but then they don't follow. Now I can pay for
No, first of all, verification is for everyone now. So
But those days,
extra special.
Yeah, and it really speaks to the community part because it's rare for a verified person to follow you first.
Yes.
In those days, you have to first follow, then say, follow Joe, follow me.
Please follow me. You go in the DMs like, thank you for following me. But great. So we have Janet on one side, and on the other side,
Barry
the master.
The master.
The coach actually gave me that name.
And you'll know why he's the master.
Oh,
He'll
really?
take you to class.
Yeah.
Barry.
Thank you very much. My name is Barry, Barrack Onyango, at Barry Onyango on all social platforms.
Yes.
And I think I met, Janet introduced me to Josh.
And then Josh introduced me to everyone else.
Yes. And now
Well
the
done.
community, that's how the community started bringing.
Yeah.
Because actually the foundation of this community was let's have more people.
Yeah.
And so Janet, me, and then Josh came in, and then Dan, and then that's how it grew.
Yeah.
So then now we started from East Africa, and now it's
global.
Now
Global.
different time zones. Different time zones. And I think you guys have had us just mention community a lot.
Yes.
That's the topic of this episode.
Yeah.
Community. It goes without saying community is very, very important for any brand, anyone that wants to have anything online that is sustainable, that lasts.
Yeah.
You need a community.
Yeah.
And why not have a discussion on that with the people that have shown us over and over again
How it's done. Yeah. And they have learned and failed,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these are all the things that we want to discuss in this one, in this episode, so that you guys will understand what it is, how you do it, how you sustain it, and what not to do.
Yeah. As a brand, as an individual, as a business, or just for the sake of conversation,
Not for the sake. It has to have an objective.
It has to have an objective and a purpose. All right. So before we jump into this episode, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. We have good stuff. Yeah, we always have good stuff. Can't even watch the things from behind. But if you're old to the channel, if you've been here, like and share.
Yes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that we are here. All right? Okay, so let's jump into this conversation.
Dan, relax your fire.
I know I have too much energy.
Let us be guided.
Today, the coffee has
Let us be guided. Yeah. So, and today really, we're going back to the dictionary basics, and I'll start off with Barry.
Yes.
What is a community in your context?
Now to me, community is simply a gathering.
Yeah.
But then again, we just don't gather. We gather for the sake of something. We
Yeah.
gather to do something, right? And so I'll bring it back to ATC. We gathered because we wanted to have like-minded individuals to champion digital marketing online and offline. Because again, we just don't have to do it online. It doesn't have to be online community alone. So that's where the definition of a community comes in. Just gathering for a purpose. And our purpose is digital marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both offline and online.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to have an end goal in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it can evolve with time.
Yeah, with time.
Yeah, it can evolve with time with more ideas
Yes.
and differences
And
whatever.
the needs,
But
because
at
needs
least,
always
yeah.
keep changing.
Yeah.
When there's a new need, there's need for growth.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been part of this community since 2018.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I still am. Which means no, because bruv.
What?
And why I say weirdly is, most times we join things because they're trendy.
Yeah.
Because but a community is sustainable when it's family. So for me, it was a place where I felt welcome.
Yeah.
It was a place where I had 100 followers. I could still be a panelist,
Yeah.
because most times you had to be either big in a space or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where, and I felt hard. I felt hard. If I had an opinion, I felt hard. So for me, that's what stood out for me as a community. It's belonging off and online.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes you can be great online, and when you meet the person, you're like, "Hey, what up, Barrack?" And you're like, "I don't know," yeah. So for me, that's really key. I don't know if Janet, you have any additional context.
For me, I would say community is more than just a belonging.
Yeah.
It's actually being around people who are ready to hold your hand, support you, grow you, and give you a chance to meet people and be part of conversations that you never thought you would be.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that our community has done for me on social media. And I'm not saying our community is just about Africa T-shirt only. Different people have different communities. Even the people you are growing on your account. That is
That's
a
your
community.
community.
So look at it from a global perspective. There's some people who will be there just to entertain you. There's some people who will be there to actually give you the ideas. There's some people who will be there to share knowledge. So that is what involves a community. But when you look at now the niche communities, they tend to be different a little bit. And I think that is where now you talk about what Barry said, people with the same interest, like-minded, and also they want to tap into each other's let me say value. Okay, so for a community, for you on digital at the moment, you should not look at it as just you jumping into any conversation and being part of it. It's all about finding a conversation that will help you propel your skills and also tap into some of the things that you want to learn and explore what you can be able to achieve you as a person.
So it has to resonate with where you want to go.
Absolutely. And it has to actually bring out some value out of you, because sometimes some of us never knew what we will do in communities until when other people push you or nudge you to do something.
That's when you realize that this is how I can contribute to a community,
and this is how I can grow.
Yes. So the more you contribute, the more you grow.
And the more you actually listen is the more you realize what you're capable of doing, because in a community it's not just about belonging, and that is what I said when I started. It's not just about belonging, it's about actually you identifying who you are, what you can achieve, and what you can do. So many people are lying in their passions or even their skills because they don't know how to bring them out. And that is why all the time I'll always go to people's DMs asking them to go for radio conversations. I'll actually ask others to go and do TV interviews, because I see something in them that they don't see in themselves.
All right. You've explained what a community is and gone a little deeper into actually our next question, which was, what is the reason? Why would anyone want to build a community? Like, why would people intentionally be like, I want to build a community? Either for a brand or for a business or just for you as an individual. What is the purpose? Why would one build a community?
First, if I could go first, community builds thought leadership.
Okay.
And when you're a thought leader, a lot of things come with it. A lot of opportunities come with it. A lot of, openings for you, not just within your region, and this goes outside.
Beyond.
Yeah, it's beyond. And so I think number one is thought leadership, the building of thought leadership. You can't be a leader of one and become a thought leader.
Yeah.
Right? And so yeah,
You can't be your own president.
absolutely. So
we are adding that in the description.
so you see, when you're a leader of a community, you're a thought leader. And a
Yeah.
thought leader, brings and opens more doors for you.
Yeah.
And so I realized just from the beginning of building ATC, I realized that it comes with a lot of responsibility as well. Because once you're a thought leader, a lot of eyes are on you, and there are those guys that want jobs from you. There are those guys who need help, just financially or anything. That just just guys who want you to be their mentors and stuff like that. So it's a whole lot. So it's just have you to realize that what can I do out of the community that I have formed, and then follow that straight path. And just to digress a bit, a lot of people build communities just for the sake of building that community, and that's why you realize that along the way they get lost, and the community is scattered all over the place, and that the community dies down slowly by slowly. But a lot of people ask us, it's been 5 years, how have you guys maintained the community? Like every Wednesday for 5 years, how have you done it? We first realized what we wanted to do and wanted to achieve. So that's all that question, and it stays there. So once we see the goal, 5-year, 10-year goal, we're chasing that 5 or 10-year goal, then everything aligns. All right. So you go step by step. So every Wednesday builds to that step of 10 years. So that, in a nutshell, makes what a community is, makes why you should build a community, or why you would build a community. And it's been an amazing 5 years, I would say. Knowing different people from different regions, knowing different markets, knowing what trends are in those different countries. And so far so good.
I think for me, I really love where I said it's one brick at a time. Yeah. Most times we want a shortcut.
People want to build Rome in 2 months.
Also like a shortcut, like Janet, I need my thing tomorrow. Yeah, yet it's
it takes a while.
Yes.
It takes a while.
Okay, I think I can add something.
Yeah.
In the past, I grew up in a village where a community was all about being part of people who you're related or close to when it comes to blood. And then now coming into the limelight, exposure also gave me a chance to understand community much better. And now talk about the digital platforms. We are no longer relating to other people because we have the same blood, but because we are tapping into what they have that we don't have. So for me, a community, the reason why I thought of a community is to learn some things that I don't know from people who are strangers to me, but they can add value to me. And that is one thing that I can say made me rethink about a community as an every week thing on social media, especially Africa T-shirts. It was very hard for me to understand and take up, learn, do research every week on marketing, the digital trends, communication. There are so many facets of digital marketing. So for me, the aspect of having people together to actually respond in seconds, send something or say something in 2 minutes, I'll be able to understand instead of wasting a lot of time doing research. So for me, it was all about bringing people together, let them help you understand the space better. Instead of you wasting a lot of time doing research and ending up clicking from page 1 to page 10 of Google just to get that right information. People are learning from different places. So how can they help you be able to tap into that? And then something else I noticed about why I thought of building a community is actually the aspect of ideas. When you have people around you who understand different things, you get a lot of ideas. I came to notice later that most of these best copywriters, best bloggers listen in conversations in the communities. That is how they get fresh ideas, fresh content. So when you're thinking of going to search of 10 tips, 5 tips, 6 tips, that's somebody who actually listened in a community conversation. So what are you doing? Why are you starting it? So for me, that's another thing that I thought. And at the end of the day, a community, having it like consistently is a way for me to know that I'm here for a purpose and I'm not on social media just for the fun bit of it. In a week, we have a lot of conversations that go on. For example, in the month of September, the first week is all about climate conferences in Africa. You know, everybody is talking about that, but not everyone is interested in that.
True.
So how can you build a community of people who are interested in that specific thing? And that is where now you'll actually born your thought leadership, and that is how you actually become the person who relates people or connects people to other brands, to other people, and you keep on growing. And that is what actually makes me want to belong in a community. As much as I own one, I belong in other people's communities, because there's some things I'm tapping into them. So know your why, and know why are you actually adding that value, and how are you adding that value. And then, sorry to cut you short, impact. Impact is very important. I wanted to, most of the time people usually say, go back to the village, do something. I don't have that time to actually go all the way from Nairobi to my village all the time.
Yes.
But because that is actually how people usually think of community at first, because you have to go back to your village, that's your community. But what about people I've grown up with in schools in Nairobi, the people I've come up across, the people who are online, who are my followers, those are my part of my community. So for me, I wanted to change the impact of people looking at it from the always going offline to meet people in your village, and also rethink of this amazing a number of people following you, want to learn from you, want mentorship from you, and then now you create the impact. So value, impact, and of course what I said first, it's not just about the belongingness, it's all about why are you doing it. Is it because you want to learn, or if you want to share knowledge with others?
Okay, that's very important. I think what you said last, community is not going back to your roots. You can always build roots from the other people that you know.
And it's so weird. Our first video talks about why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Our very first video on the channel is about why.
Why are you doing what you're doing? And I feel like that's why sometimes we grow weary. As brands, as marketers, or as anyone, when you're building a community or an idea with an unclear why. So then when you get stuck, you don't have that drive anymore. You don't have the reason. You don't have the reason why. You're just doing it because it's cool. And I would like to say, like on record, the communities are not for the faint-hearted. Because whenever you bring a lot of people together, there are pros and cons. So your why is what
keeps
guides and fuels the continuity.
All right.
Man.
That's dope. Ooh, as we say, guys, lots of learning. Wisdom is dropping. You guys saw the book of Joshua was big. Mama! It's a different ball.
Yeah.
All right. So we've looked at what a community is, how you, why you need to build it. Yes. I think we need to look at how. How? Because that's the question.
Where do I, what do I use? Where do I start from?
Are there tools that I use, or do I just start jazzing people?
Do I have to leave the village? Or I can start from
So how did you guys build this community? What are those tips you can share on how to build a community?
Can I go first?
What's the community?
Sure. This one I have to go first. Because I think I'm the kind of a person who loves bringing people together all the time. That's something that I learned through when we were children. What I used to do is when we want to go and steal some guavas from another neighbor's,
you need to mobilize. So that will get us.
And the funniest thing is that I will end up just being the watching person, and they will be on and if the neighbor comes, I'm out. Anyway, for me, I think that is one of the things that I had to realize that I'm a leader in. Even throughout my high school, primary, and all that, it's all about leadership. And leadership on social media was very hard for me to actually know how to go about it. Yeah. Okay. But again, when the idea of community, let me tell you how it started. I was on Twitter, and then I was part of these Twitter chat. We used to call them tweet chats. Nowadays it's called X. And I loved how people will just ask questions, others will respond. There's one speaker or there's one guest, and then after that the conversation is over. They do articles on the same, and wow, people are connecting every week. People are coming back. I was like, wow, this is interesting. I've been doing something around blogging on WhatsApp because I was a journalist and I was able to join the media space earlier in my university years.
Okay.
So it was very easy for people to be like, oh, can you teach us on how to do ABCD? So I created the WhatsApp group. And that is when I was like, wow, this thing can actually be for everyone. It doesn't have to be on WhatsApp alone.
Yeah.
So the how is the first thing I remember I talked to Barry about. It was in December 2017.
Okay.
And I had to tweet. I tweeted and I was like, I need these and these and these and these and these people. I wrote at least 23 countries across Africa. And then I said, I only need content creators and trainers. Because then, on Twitter, if you post, you need influencers, everyone will be
Everyone will show, everybody will show up.
I know.
Hey.
So that December through to January, we actually reached out to individual people who were recommended to tell them about the community. So that is the first thing you have to do. When you want to build a community, it's not about you alone. It's about the other people. Okay. How do you approach them, talk to them, share their idea so that they can have the reason to join your community. So that is number one. Number two, having a community as an individual, it sounds easy, but when it comes to actuating your strategies and everything, is the hardest thing.
Okay.
Have someone to be your backup.
So you need the support.
You need a backup. Yeah, it's like when you don't have electricity and you have a generator.
Yes.
So you need a backup so that when you have bad days, they can be able to push you. When you don't know how to go about a certain issue, they are there to give you an idea. So a community starts from the 2 people or 3 people you're in that group. Like for example, Joshua and you, actually you are a community. Yeah, you are a community.
And you are
the
part
fact
of
that you do conversations together, you're pushing each other.
Yes.
And sometimes you might be very tired.
Most times, by the way.
Wow, Josh.
I had to give you. You knew
under the bus
coming.
Yeah.
Under the bus, under the train. No survival.
Anyway.
Yeah, and then that is how you build up, because the first 2 people have the strength to show other people that, you know what, we are here for you. Whatever happens, either of us can always help you with everything. So, and then push now to the platform of your choice.
Yes.
That is very important. Keep your community people. Okay, and I think maybe it's a secret for those who are planning to start communities. A community is not just about that WhatsApp or that Twitter space conversation you are having. Every time when I tell people you have a WhatsApp group, they go like, so who is in the WhatsApp group? How do I qualify to be part of
the group? Yes.
Why do you have it and you have a community on Twitter
as well? Yes.
They forget that sometimes you need people to offer more support. And that is why I say the 2 people you can be, add other maybe 50, 100, so they can keep the idea alive and they can give you a reason to why you should keep coming back. And then now open forum to everyone else. So plan your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So by the time you get to tier 3, you already know your first and second is very strong. You're not worried about your third one. Our first one is Barry and I, Barrack and I. The second one is Africa Tweet Chat community. And the third one is now the people who listen, the people request for to speak in the conversations. So how are you planning that community? It's not just about you. One thing I've noticed on social media about building communities, if you make everything be about you, people will disappear. But if you make everything be about us, I'm not talking about them, us.
Us as
me,
a group of people.
You, everyone else.
It
becomes very easy. Today, for example, there are times I usually post on social media, I'm like, today I'm not able to have the Twitter spaces because I'm down, maybe I'm doing other things. People will actually come to my DM. They're not a part of the WhatsApp groups. But they will be like, oh, we are gonna miss you. But I hope you take your rest if it's a rest that I'm taking off social media. So imagine to an extent that you are people are following up to know what you're doing. That means the constant communication. Now another how, communicate to people. Communicate apart from the people you have who are your close contact. Communicate to them. And then something else, how is find a routine.
Okay.
And I think that is what makes every conversation successful.
Yeah.
Find a routine. What are you going to do? If you're going to have speakers, is there a way these speakers can always schedule their sessions, choose the topic they want to talk about, be able to be given, even if they have 2 followers, you know?
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's the value you're looking for in the community conversations. So I think that is what I can share. Barry, you can add the rest.
I think the major thing that stands out for me is once you identify the objective of that community, that then answers different questions of who am I going to pick for this community, who
How am I
want
going
to
to do
join,
it? Yeah.
or who do I want to share this community with, and stuff like that. So one, identify your objective. Number 2, share it with the like-minded people and see what they
think.
if they think, what they think, and if they would like to join. And then number 3, ask them to ask others to join, or rather ask them to share the community, because the community then becomes big. So what we did with ATC was Janet and I had an objective, and then we shared with our closest friends or our followers for that matter, and then now it started growing from there, because people saw what we were doing, and then we were like, we would like to come in and join. So then it started growing. So I think my major point here is find an objective and then find like-minded people. So that's a major score.
Yeah. And I like that also, because I think for me, the win we learned even from ATC, and I would say even ATC inspired us to really get certain things going, is also depth over width.
Yes.
That's one thing I've learned from ATC. Start where you're strong, rather than copying others.
Yes.
Like, do you.
So, be yourself and be true to who you are.
Yeah,
Yes.
do you. So start where you're strong. The audience that gets it will join you. The people that get it will join you. So for us, when we learned from ATC, we figured we are not the kings of Facebook, neither of
We're
Twitter,
the kings of every platform, but
so we had to understand where would we naturally fit in, what works for us, and learn, and as you've said, have the inner circle support system. Yeah. When I work with him, there are days he's on a high, I'm on a low. There are days I'm on a low, he's on a high. There are days when we are both on a high, and there are days when we're on a low. So that means the team that we work with is also involved in our process, in our cycle. So I feel like my best learning from the ATC team is know the why, but also start from
where you are and your strengths.
Yes. Don't look for a perfect thing. Don't just copy it. Speak your truth. Start your community based on us. So that means like-minded. Then it will drive on from there.
All right. So I think just from what you guys have shared, and for benefit of the viewers, the points on how is first and foremost, find the objective.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Find the why. Why am I building this community? Once you have that, Janet, you had mentioned that you need to find like-minded
Segment
people.
your targeted, the like-minded people.
Yes, the like-minded people. Get your like-minded people together. Build a support system.
That's that.
Build a support system. I think for me that's the biggest learning. This one, it hits so close to home. when Josh and I sit and like, we're shooting on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then one person is like, this is why I don't have that much. But then the other person is like, no, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. If I can call you in the morning Saturday, let's do something together. First, that builds strength. And then we go shoot. So there's that. Then also build a routine. Build a routine such that it keeps you going. I think that together helps,
grow.
It helps grow a community.
Yeah, but also the key learning that I think even tips it off is us as members. So I'll speak from the us, not from the you guys. Is ATC has managed to trickle the dream down.
Yes.
So when I'm in Uganda, I own ATC. So if someone said we are doing a fintech thing, we are scaling into this space, we are looking for a community, I'll be like, And if you say, I need them to do something with us next month, I'm like, we can definitely do it. So you see that ownership, where I feel like I already understand where we are driving to. I don't need permission. I can be proactive
Yeah.
and ask for forgiveness late. So I can be, by the time I'm like, oh guys, so this is what has happened, this is what I was thinking, this was my logic, because the dream is trickled down. It's not Barry's or Janet's dream, it's our
everyone's
dream.
It's
Yes.
everyone's dream.
That's very true.
Alright.
And I think that is what we forget a lot.
Yeah.
When the women in the villages plan to contribute to buy a water tank to harvest rains during the rainy seasons, they never say that tank belongs to so and so.
It's for the community.
It's them.
Yeah.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
It's for the
Yeah.
community. It's for the wababas. Oh, wababas. Those are the men. For the men, for the children. It's for everyone. And I
Everyone, yeah.
think ownership should not be about the leader.
Yes.
You know, I can say I'm a co-founder, but I'm just a co-founder. But if you're part of the team, you are an ATC member.
Yes.
Do you own it?
Yeah.
Do you own the community? And I've noticed that the moment you own that community, you thrive. Because I think we have the best community in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We belong.
it's the
We
best.
own.
Yes.
We
Own
yeah,
it.
we
We own
own.
it.
it.
We don't just belong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we own
own
it.
it. It's that ownership. For me, it's
Yeah.
so I can walk into a room or a client, and if they ask about, I'll be like, yeah, we can get that done. Don't worry. Yeah, because I already own. I'm the extension in Uganda,
Uganda.
and someone is the extension in Tanzania and
Yes.
Nigeria. So
Yeah.
for me, that's what stood out.
How do you leverage the power of a community to grow a business?
You see, once you have different manpowers, the community runs itself. Yeah? And so everybody comes with their skills and expertise in different fields. And so if I'm good at branding, Josh is good at social media or ad placement or ad buying and stuff like that, we could collaborate on that front. So I get a client, not because I'm good at that, but I get a client and then push it to Josh and we do things together.
Yeah.
Yes.
That wouldn't have happened if the community was non-existent,
Yes.
or if the community was like, I'm on my own, right? And so that has always worked for us. Even if we need influencers in South Africa, we just call one of us in South Africa and we organize for things, and it works seamlessly. So we would, the relationship we've had has managed, or rather has helped us grow in terms of leveraging each other's skills and expertise in all the areas that we feel there's business. Yeah. So that has made us have tentacles in almost all the African countries, right? And so as an individual, I think I've grown based on the clients I've gotten from Josh, from Dan, from everybody, So this wouldn't be possible without having those kind of relationships. And so I have grown both in business and as a person, just based on us the relationship we've been able to build.
All right. So basically, the synergies of the people in the community
Create more opportunities.
create more opportunities.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Janet, you look like you have a burning point over there.
A lot.
There's a burning point right there. There's a fire waiting to drop.
A lot. I don't know if you have ever noticed sometimes we have community conversations on Twitter. Have you ever asked yourself
when
why?
it's open mic, it's like
Yourself why?
no,
Not really.
for us it was just an opportunity to make noise.
You're like, guys, have a conversation. Allow me.
Do you know some people think those times we don't have guests, but we do have guests. Sometimes we have to know when to have like at least one or two spaces in a month or after 2 months, so that people can feel like they have something to also
Sense of
contribute,
belonging,
you know. And one thing sometimes I feel bad about how the members treat it is that some people will just keep on joining as the listeners over and over again. But we have 12 mics. We have one speaker every week. One speaker.
Yeah.
Where are the rest 12?
Yeah.
And sometimes that is why I think people will join the space and then they will be like, okay, Dan, you are a speaker again this week. Last week you were a speaker, but you're fighting for your space.
Yes.
You're trying to show people, I'm here. If brands are watching, and actually brands are not the businesses they're not the ones who are joining those conversations.
It's
the people who are running those businesses.
that are joining.
And they're the ones who are going to pick you, who are going to choose you to give you that project.
Yes.
So how are you representing yourself? And I think I've tried my best to push people. I ask them, do you mind coming on this? Sometimes I actually, if I see them, I usually send them the requests. Some people join, some never. And if you have noticed, the people who fight to get a space in a community to be heard more, they tend to be the most known. And people believe or have that perception like they're the best to respond to some of their problems in their companies. So what I usually try to do is to support them, to push them, and also to give them a chance to notice that a community is not just about belonging. It's not just about you being a listener and we have 200 numbers or 200 people listening. It's about you once in a while also pushing to share something. And that is why even our WhatsApp conversations, I feel like they give now more opportunity for people to share, because not everyone can actually get an opportunity to speak. Some of us are timid on how we pronounce some things.
Just quiet,
we don't want to say some things because we might end up having some, instead of revolutionarization, we end up revolution. So and I think that is what makes a community a bit different. And I think what I've mastered this year is to push people. Most times I'll get, because I have a very good relationship with journalists. I'm a journalist too. So sometimes they'll be like, we need you for an interview. And sometimes I'm like, I think my face is everywhere. I think my community on Twitter already gives me this outlook like you are the person, you own your own media channel, you know. And sometimes I have to reach out to them and be like, today I won't be available, but do you mind getting this other person? And I think that is one way, as much as we can have a smaller community, we can push our members, push them to notice that they have something of value to offer. And remember, I said this, in a community, it's not about you learning only. It's about you knowing what you're capable of doing that people or you as a person hasn't identified. But when a community leader or community member identifies it and pushes you, it means there is something unique about you.
Yes, they're seeing something that you're not yet seeing
Absolutely.
yourself.
So if you are that person who's doing it for the rest, push them.
Yes.
And that is one thing I think communities should do in order to create impact. Not just about knowledge and then people think this is the impact. Some people don't care. They'll be like, the conversation you're having, I would rather go to ChatGPT and, pull out everything and read. But now you're doing an extra thing to them to notice that, yes, actually, you really helped me. Do you know what has that helped me in the, now rippling back to the business? Every time I refer someone or I give someone an opportunity, even if it has to be going out and being part of a speaking panel, they feel like they owe me. But I don't usually tell them that I owe them or they owe me. They usually push their buttons to see if I can get the next project. And that is where you build believability. And that is when you grow your reputation in front of people, because how you network, how you refer people gives you the business. Without you knowing, you actually marketed yourself.
Yes.
A couple of times people ask, why are you guys wasting time on ATC conversations every week? But we are not wasting our time. We are marketing ourselves actually. That's marketing on the go. And all the time clients will be like, oh, we saw you talking about so and so, this and this. We believe you are the expert. Do you mind helping us with our brand? So our spaces, the community should be a channel for you to market yourself. And that is why I usually say, if you are requesting for a mic to speak, please, before you say, I am Josh, because I would have already introduced you, go ahead and say, I do this and this and this and this. Yes.
And for me, actually from the business concept, that means it poses a challenge for brands that are creating communities, whether telecoms, banks or fashion or whatever, is how you activate your communities should actually grow them. Not just heads together, put challenges. If I have you can have pitching grounds, if you have, fintech, you can have pitching grounds. And if someone actually has a very good idea, they learn. You can have classes for finances. You can go beyond just having
the conversations
them, yes. If you're a designer brand, then do a designer hackathon or stuff like that. So for me, it means that as a brand, as a business, as a personal brand, your community should add value, because that's the way you get a return in business. Because most times, most communities are made to send you posters. We have a sale. We have a discount. You're like, guys.
It's a monologue. It becomes a monologue.
One-way communication. We have this. But if you actually said, guys, we are doing this Christmas sale, we need ideas on to create this, you'll be shocked
at the responses,
and then can you bring them along that journey, so that if instead of having the PR manager do the Christmas giveaway, you have members of the community who are part of the giveaway.
So ideally for communities, it's use the synergies that you get from having different people together to get something done, to get the value for a business, for a brand. And I like how I like what you said. Challenge the people in your community. If you're looking to get value from the community, the more you challenge people, the more they challenge you, the more you both then grow. And both benefit.
And that is how you grow your story.
Yes.
Because they will go out they're saying that, Dan is the one who helped me do
this and this and this and this.
And I love it when I get clients who be like, oh, by the way, I heard you from somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the best kind of a lead, because you know
good.
exactly, like, this is not just a lead, this is a sale.
Yeah, it is. And we've done word of mouth, and usually word of mouth is 90% closed business. Like when I say go to Barry, he will deliver. I've already done.
There's trust.
Yes.
Like usually the next thing you hear is, well, the person you recommended, they did an amazing job.
So
usually that's the next
thing. So I really get that.
Let's stop.
Can I add just a last thing?
When it comes to a community and the idea of referral, remember that these are people who are trying to build their brands, thought leadership, and authority, not forgetting reputation.
Yes.
So as a part of the members in that community, as much as you want to tap into businesses, remember that anybody who's going to give you a chance, they should have in one or the other experienced you as a person, experienced the way you do your things, and understood how reputable you are as a person. So work on your reputation while you're part of that community. Work on your that's true. Because I can never, you can be part of my community, but I can never recommend you if your reputation will ruin my reputation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like that you brought that because it's the next thing. What not to do? What not to do when you
running
have
a community?
When you're running a community.
And
we're talking about all
this nice thing.
What should a person avoid when managing or when building or when running a community?
Only refer those who are referable.
Number 2, because we're already talking about number 1.
Yes.
Number 2,
as
part of a community, please don't just belong. Do something.
Very key.
Ask if you need to help somewhere. Ask people around. You don't have to just be like, I'm just adding another number, and that is why sometimes I love when we have other community conversations. As much as we know we are marketers, sometimes let people ease up. Let them have fun. Let them be themselves. And that is why we allow what we allow on our WhatsApp group. Because we're like, let people just...
It can't always be talking shop.
Exactly. It doesn't have to always be like, I'm an expert and blah, blah, blah. We do this, marketing, I have a problem here.
Then we pull out a blog article. On a Sunday. At least bring a scripture.
So learn to speak up.
Yeah.
And then something else I would say for those people who own communities, like they're the leaders. Let me call them leaders. They might be owning, but they're the leaders. For those who are leaders of communities, kindly remember this: you are a leader. Guide the people, but let them understand that the community is not yours; it's for everyone.
So push the narrative of knowing that I'm just here to facilitate how things move, how things work, in case there's an issue. But at the end of the day, this is your community, not mine.
All right. So create a sense of belonging, but also have like some guardrails in case things are going off.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we said create a sense of ownership,
ownership, not belonging. Ownership,
because we belong in a community where we don't even know our cousins. Trust me. Do you know your cousins?
No,
but you're related. But you belong in that community.
Yeah.
So and I think that something else you should not do when it comes to community is don't make it like a one night stand kind of a thing. Have so many every week. Have night stands. I think
that goes back to the routine thing.
Make it regular.
Yes.
Make it sink into the members' minds, knowing that every week we are supposed to do something. To a point that the time when it comes, you're like, today I might not be able to do this. They'll be like, I can help. Because they feel like this thing must happen. This thing needs to happen. Like tonight, for example, there are days, maybe not tonight, there are days we usually say we don't want to do conversations today. Maybe I'm busy. There are some things that are happening. And my social media manager will be like, yeah, we can still do it. But on this other end, people will be like, where's Janet?
Yes.
Where is she? I can't start a conversation and not appear, you know? But if we had a way that is something actually we're working on, a way that Josh can run the conversation, can host the conversation with the collaboration of ETC when I'm not around, it makes it much easier instead of Janet being the only person to show up all the time. And I think that is something that we have not been doing, but we want to do. But for those people who are looking into it, please don't ignore that the people who join are people who are part of businesses. They are managers, they are CEOs, they're having issues, they need the solutions, and you and your community are the one who's going to give them. So present. And don't, please, if someone has joined your community, even if it's listening, please value those people. They might be having 20 followers, but their bank might be speaking another language. Sometimes we ignore that respect between people who have the less followers and the more followers. We value people. Who told you those followers are actually real? Value people who take their time to stay in your community for even a conversation for 2 hours. Those are people who are trying to understand that space. Those are people who have the monies. Those are people who call the shots.
Those are people who are willing to invest in that.
They are willing to invest in you if they can listen to all that time that you're talking or you're having that conversation. So don't ignore your audience.
Basically, with a great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, the only thing I would want to add is, if you want to start a community because Barry and Janet is running a community, please stop.
You didn't, Barry. But they can still start unless they have to come and talk to you first.
I mean, what I mean is, you don't have anything. You don't have a sense of direction. You don't have an objective.
Don't copy and
because you want to feel like you're on the same
you
level.
need to own.
Please just stop it. Because it's not easy work. It's not an easy work. It's not an easy work. So I've seen that. Because during our teething stages, so
around the second, third year,
we had like 6
so many different conversations coming up.
And then we started natural selection. Then all of them are dead.
Undertaker, natural death back.
So that tells you a lot. So it's like a case study. So please don't just start a community because you've seen someone, Josh and Dan are running a very nice YouTube channel, and then you feel like, hey, this is the direction. I can also do it. Why not? I mean, you don't know why they're doing it. That's number one. You don't know, what it takes. What it takes. So. Please don't just copy and paste.
And I think for us is what the not to do's for community is. If you not
get closer to the mic so they can hear you.
If you
louder
not
for the guys in the back.
There is always a price to pay. Like that's something we ignore. There is always a price to pay. we started in 2020. I got the dream in 2017. I just knew I couldn't do it alone. So when I met him through COVID, I had to walk to his place because we were under lockdown. Then I would always tell him, prepare juice. I'm coming, have food. Like, I'm coming, bro. I'm walking. So I would walk. Then we first drink, cool down. Then sometimes it rains. You know, now it's raining, you don't have lighting. That day you walk for nothing.
The sound. It would rain and then you can't record
anything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but it's that there's always a price to pay.
Yeah.
So if you really do research, and the why is so important. We should not follow the vanity. We should not follow the clout. And that comes back to, that's how you'll be able to respect the people that join your community, because then you know that you are on to something and you value that other people.
You value them coming on
board. Yeah, so there's always a price to pay. And then 2, no one cares how hard it is for you. No one sent you. We have that saying, is no one forced you. If you feel like quitting, then quit. And people don't like saying these things. Everyone, no, we have a lot of motivational speakers, but again, if you ain't cut out for it, it's okay.
It's okay to
it's okay. And that's why it's important for support systems, for what, because then you're already aware of the job ahead. But expecting sympathy, or like how you said, they coped and died. And we, you know, coming from our market, is we are so afraid to say the harsh truth. So we're like, you know, it will work. But when you literally know, you know, it's because the community is hard work. It's a day job. You know, you're engaging other people, you're growing. You have to. There's, because in ATC there's diversity from culture, language, background, as you said, reputation. so it might be in the same community, but the reputation cycle is very different. What is okay in Uganda might not actually be okay in the other elsewhere. So as the leaders, they have to always find
a common ground,
you know, and you know, all these things. So for me, that's it. We don't, no one will babysit you.
And if I just say something, I like the fact that Barry brought that up, of if you think the other, you deserve, you know, you kind of, I think that is the idea people usually have. They think, if I start the same thing, I also deserve to have this kind of community, this kind of a way, this is how it will turn out and all that. It reminds me of the conversation about rate cuts. You know, when it comes to a community and you're growing it, because at the end of the day, you want to grow. People will request for your rate cuts. And then you call your friends, you're like, how much do you charge? Maybe your friends have been in the market for the longest. You just started. You think you deserve what they're being paid at that particular time.
But you do not know
where they are, you know, and what they have to go through. So as much as you're thinking of creating a community, learn to start. Learn to actually allow yourself to grow.
Start small and grow from that point.
And have a beginner's mindset. That is something that has changed Africa to chat. All the time we usually fight with Barry. Ask him why. Barry will come up with a conversation, a topic. I'm like, bro, this is not for everyone. You need to make everyone feel like they understand what you're saying. You don't have to make people feel like,
this is foreign. Like, what is this?
Hapa ni wapi? We usually say, where is this? Hapa ni wapi? You know, make people feel like they can contribute. And that is the essence of a community. Making things simpler for them so that they can understand, so that they can feel on the same level. And then bring up people who can ask questions, which will now open up their mind to think further and to sit and listen. If they don't have anything to contribute, so learn how to balance between opening up for a conversation in your community that will make everyone feel like, yes, I'm involved, or know when they have to keep quiet and listen, so that at the end of the day, the dynamics you have are helping people grow and are helping people who have already grown realize that there are people who are also
Starting.
Yes.
So we end up
It's a
having a
cycle.
beginner's mindset in the community. Because at the end of the day, a community built on social media is not the same as a community you can control. Who
Yes.
comes in or who doesn't.
Yes.
On social media, people will join you if they have heard about you. So what conversations are you having in that community? Are they growing conversations? Or are they a conversation which we are just...
We're just having for the sake.
Like you're beating our chest and be like, we are the people. We are the thought leaders, you know.
Yeah.
You make others feel like, Psh, I don't have to be here. So
Yeah.
be welcoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Create a welcoming community for all.
All right. Lots of learning. I think, man, this has been an amazing conversation. Lots of wisdom dropping. I think, if you're watching us now and this is speaking to you, we are going to prepare a workbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will highlight all
Definitely.
the different points that we've talked about here. But also, if you're interested in joining our community as CDJ, within the description, you will find the link to our newsletter. We have a newsletter that comes out every month. So you can sign up there and you'll be receiving tips on how to make your marketing better, how to build communities, what is trending in the marketing space.
Yeah.
All right. Our goal is to make everyone, to make you that's watching a better marketer, someone so that you can understand how this thing works, make better decisions. And for that, join our community if you'd like. And let's do life together. Let's do marketing together. Josh, sound off.
Yeah. Well, as I'm signing out, as of course, our guests are here. The hashtag is Africa Tweet Chat. The handle is @AfricaTweetChat. Every Wednesdays, 9 p.m. East African time. 8 p.m. CAT.
And
7 p.m. WAT. And they are always open Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
DM, please, let's be guided.
Always.
Let's keep it here. But they are always ready. And the reason why it's a community is you can ask a question on the hashtag and another person can
There'll always
answer
be someone
it.
to
It's
answer.
not always Barry
Barry
or
or
Janet or
Janet,
whatever. The hashtag is where we come together. On Instagram, still the Instagram is there. You can also Google. There are articles with various information over the years as we've been doing content. So learn, read, and it's a community where it's self-growth and we improve one another as Africa Tweet Chat. So definitely
Thank you.
check out.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this conversation. It's been an honor for us.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us for this one. Be good.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.